For this lesson, I'd like to begin in the bridge. You can start the bridge from Photoshop by clicking on the Bridge button in the Application bar, or you can simply start the bridge and then browse to the Chapter 2 Photoshop folder in the Project Files folder. Once you're there, open up the folder called Compositing. I have 4 images here, and I'd like to use them together in one Photoshop file. I can very quickly combine them together in Photoshop by simply selecting them, click and drag to select, or use Shift-click to select them all, and then under the Tools menu, choose Photoshop and Load Files into Photoshop Layers. This will send all 4 images into Photoshop. Let's take a look at the Layers panel. If we open it, you can see I have red plane.psd, orange plane, purple plane, and blue plane. What I'd like to do is to build one wide image that looks like a row of each of these planes. We'll use something very much like it in a later chapter. First of all, I need to expand my canvas quite a bit to accommodate 4 planes wide. Under the Image menu, you can see Canvas Size. And we need the canvas to be about 35 inches wide. So under Width, type in 35 inches. You can choose how Photoshop will grow the image. It's okay if it grows out in all directions from the center. But if you wanted it to grow only outwards, say from the right-hand edge, then you could click this button here, or click this one to grow from the left-hand side. Let's stick with the middle for now. And OK. Now let's zoom way out. Command 0 on a Macintosh or Control 0 on a Windows computer. What I'd like to do is to distribute each of these planes now across this width. Each layer represents one plane, and to move a layer, I've got to use my Move tool. Select the Move tool, and then click anywhere in the image and drag to the left. You'll see that we grab the red plane, and we can move it all the way over to the left-hand side of the image. You'll see that red plane is selected here. Next, we'll grab the orange plane, and you can target the orange plane by clicking the orange plane layer. Then with your Move tool, click and drag to the left. Now we see the orange. Plane, and we can move it into position behind the others. And it should snap into that corner. When we're done, hit Return or Enter. Now that plane is positioned. You'll notice something else though. This plane has a slightly different icon. And this means that it is called a Photoshop Smart Object. This means that the original Photoshop file is embedded inside of this Photoshop file and allows us to edit it separately. If we make any transformations to it, such as move it around, to scale it, to shrink it, or anything else, the original Photoshop file will in fact be here ready for us to edit at any time. Smart objects are really powerful, and they apply to more than simply a placed Photoshop file. There's one more thing I'd like to do here, and that is to duplicate a layer. Let's duplicate the blue layer because I need to add the word red. Select the blue layer, and we'll duplicate it. Right-click or Control-click on a Macintosh, and then click it once, and we can use the red right here simply by clicking with our eyedropper. Now you'll notice that the red text now matches the red airplane. Click OK to close the color selector. Now we can turn the orange plane back on. Everything you add to a Photoshop file becomes a layer, and then you can move them around, you can duplicate them, you can turn them on, you can turn them off, you can do all kinds of things with layers. We'll see more things we can do with layers in later lessons in this chapter. If you'd like, you can save at this stage, but we will be using this document for the rest of the chapter.